Hello and welcome to New You Wow, Going Places podcast, where we help celebrate epic achievements, connections in the family and the community around the globe. Today, we are honored to be joined by Sherina Jones, a Miami native and distinguished esthetician with 8 years of experience, and founder of Village Freedge, tirelessly helping members of our community find their next meal. Sherina, how are you today?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me. How are you feeling today?
Wonderful, wonderful. It's such a pleasure and an honor. Thank you for coming through. So we always start with a little bit of an icebreaker. If you could tell us something interesting about yourself that most people do not know, a little hidden nugget.
Let's see. That I'm cooler than people think, because some people think I'm so uptight and, I want everything to a T. And I'm like, I'm very relaxed and flexible. I'm that type of person. I'm very cool, like very laid back.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's good to know because it feels like we tend to present many faces to the world. And especially if they're getting to know us in a business capacity, when it comes to that personal level, they may not be aware of the two and the crossroads. So,
Right.
good to know. So, tell us about your professional journey, specifically any roadblocks you overcame and how you did so.
Oh, wow. Okay. My first 2 years into my business, I really didn't understand what business was about, and that I was solely in charge of how much money I was making.
Right.
I'm just thinking that because I opened a business and I post that, people are going to come because they know I have a business, not knowing that I had to be my personal marketing person, customer service. I had to make sure I'm putting myself out there in every way that I can, like over and beyond.
Right.
When I'm finished checking out at restaurants, the supermarket, or any place that I'm purchasing things, that in exchange, as I'm getting my change, I'm giving someone my business card. Mm-hmm. So I had to think of smart marketing tools to try to draw in more business, because I was really lost. So the first 2 years, I was all over the place trying to figure it out. But by the third year, I kind of got it together. And then fourth year, I was rolling. So that's why they say it really means the first 2-3 years of business is like a little rocky road, because you don't know. Like, it doesn't come with instructions, and everyone's journey is different.
Yeah.
Someone can prepare it for you as much as they want, but everybody's journey is different. So that was my roadblock, figuring it out, getting customers in, getting a steady clientele where I'm not working as hard to get clients in, because my clientele built off word of mouth. And select a few came from social media, but mostly it was from word of mouth. So I'm very grateful for my loyal clients that passes on the information about me to get new clients in.
Powerful, very powerful. So we appreciate your honesty there, because you're right. It's like anytime you step into that world of entrepreneurship, you're going to have some growing pains, and some go faster than others. What do you think was such a lift or a transition for you in that third and fourth year? What was the light coming on?
The light coming on was that I had to be honest, party less, ditch friends more, tell them I can't go this time, because that was all of my income. So if I made money that day and I hung out that day, I don't have any money. So I was doing a lot of that, my first 2 to 3 years. I'm thinking, I made this amount of money. It's time to go out. I did this. It's time to go here. So I had to learn how to buckle down. I had to learn how to definitely strategize my expenses, saying that I need to put this up, and then I pay myself this for the week. So it was more so me learning I would say my expenses side of the business as well, learning how to save and what not to spend. So I had to learn that part of business too. So that was definitely my rollout of year 3 and 4, just sitting my butt down and not going out as much, so that I can cover buying tools and things that I need for the shop, sending myself to training so that I can elevate the education and things that I needed to know so that I can better serve my clients, because things change every year in every business, even when you're a teacher, doctor, lawyer, nurse,
Absolutely.
in business. So you have to always be in a position to continuously educate yourself, because you'll be left in the dust with new techniques and strategies coming out, and you're just stuck in year one of what was learned the first year. So you have to always be in a position to pay for trainings to keep educating yourself. So that was a big part of year 3 and 4, is putting myself through trainings and different things to further educate myself so that I can have more services to offer my clients.
That's fantastic. And what you're describing is that pivot or shift in mindset that you have to maintain, because if we don't grow, we're going to encounter situations that are a struggle. Literally, it's almost like they could pull us back into the quicksand after all that effort you've put out. So kudos to you for having the self-discipline, the focus to stay committed, and to realize that the better you became, the more that you grew, the more that your business would benefit, and flip side of coin, all your clients. That's beautiful. So
definitely a shift in a mindset, as you mentioned, and that was a big transition for me, shifting my mindset that I don't have to be everywhere doing everything that other people are doing, because it will disrupt your journey. So I had to sit down and refocus on what was the mission and what was my goal. And once I figured that out, that's when I was able to move forward.
Fabulous. And too, it's a matter of realizing it never stops. Those that engage in that process daily, weekly, monthly, you start seeing them catapult into success. And we know that you've had a lot of great experiences under your belt, a lot of amazing things that are still coming your way. And it goes back to the way we think. So very, very nice. We're also curious, what were the factors that led to you choosing the particular career path you have? I mean, you're very talented. You've got a lot of connections. There's so many choices before you, and you chose to pursue this path. What do you think led to that?
I was always a part of the beauty industry. I started out doing hair, doing sew-ins, natural styles, and then I transitioned to eyelashes once I seen eyelashes had became a thing. I always did my own eyelashes, like the individuals that you could just put in yourself. But when I seen a new technique, I was intrigued to learn. I'm like, oh, wow, like that's different, to do it hair by hair, and it comes out with a more natural look. And I'm like, let me try that. Because as a little girl, me starting to like lashes, my grandmother, I used to go over her house, and when she gets made up, she's like, come put my lashes on for me. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So as I went over there, she would walk me through how to put her lashes on for her. So that's how I learned how to put lashes on. So that's how lashes has always been a little part of me since I was like 11 or 12. She had me popping on her lashes for her.
Oh, wow. Look at that. It's in the DNA.
Yes.
That is great. Now, speaking of grandma and her influence, do you have any fond childhood memories that really help get you through a tough day, something that inspires you to keep going?
Oh, my grandmother, she was just like that person that was relentless. Like, she would drive from Georgia to Miami just to pop up on us, just to spend some days or some times. And she had some free time. So she was always going hard for others. And if someone needed something, she was always giving. If someone needed somewhere to stay, she would give her couch, her own bed. So she was just that person that she was always giving. So that's what I remember from my childhood. She was always giving and always standing up for people and being there for people. So that is definitely embedded in me and my DNA as well.
Wonderful. And life is a teacher. The more you give, the more you get. So the fact that you had such a supreme example that taught you at an early age to really give of yourself and benefit from that, fantastic. That's wonderful. So given that you've got so much on your plate, this is something that many of our listeners are curious about. How do you strike a work-life balance? What's your process?
I had to, like I said, I had to discipline first is the biggest factor of it all. You have to have discipline to know that this amount of hours I have to work a day to get out what I need to, because you're solely responsible for, at least if you're doing services at a location and then you're home, you have two separate bills to pay. So you have to figure out first, what will be your hours of working? What will be your set prices that will enable you to be able to afford both? Right. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you have to worry about covering home and the office, because that is a part of your lifestyle. That's just, that's like with any business, you have to cover the location and your private lifestyle. So I had to figure out, how would I be able to afford both? I looked at, what other businesses were charging, and I put myself right in the middle, that I'm not too much, I'm not too low. I'm right there in the middle at affordable for, working people that, understands luxury services and things that are being offered, because it is like going to a private spa, basically. Right. So I had to figure out what hours I wanted to work. And when I first started, I used to do early mornings, because some people were only able to get to me at 6, 7 o'clock. So I was pretty flexible when I first started. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm doing more, I had to kind of crunch down and figure out how would I work smart and not be too hard on myself. So it's all about maintaining the schedule for your personal life and your business, so that you're operating where you're not tiring yourself out.
Excellent. And, those are such amazing tips, given that it goes back to what your grandma taught you. The more you give, the more you get. So that giving element also involves self-sacrifice. Yes. There's going to be things and places you'd rather be and doing, but when it comes to maintaining and nurturing that business, those sacrifices in the beginning really pay off later. So that's beautiful.
Yes, that's true. True.
All right. So now a little bit on the element of the inevitable stress that can come with owning a business. What keeps you up at night?
Always how you can perfect and be more efficient. How, it's just being more crisp. How you can just be more, how those brands, like you just want to look more like the department store or Target or, how do you get your marketing to that point? How do you get your business to that point? So it's always working towards that goal of being, just more clean and professional. So I'm always looking at better ways to redesign my business, my logo, the website. So I'm always looking at ways that I can grow more. Sometimes you're always thinking about more time. How could I have more time to service more clients without overworking yourself? How could you, I always wanted to build a team. How could you work more efficiently if you had a team of people? Mm-hmm. And how would that work? It's just, money, funding. Sometimes if you didn't have a good month, how are you going to cover the next month? How are you going to cover materials? Because you have to keep things there to keep working. And it's the small thing: trash bags, paper towels, cleaning products, of course, lashing tools, skincare products. If a machine breaks, you have to worry about buying another machine, beds. If anything breaks, it's all on you. So it's like, that is the stress of having your own business, that it's all on you. You don't have no one to call on and say, hey, this isn't working, come and fix it. So it's like, you have to more so figure it out. So it's a tough one, but entrepreneurship is not for the weak. You have to definitely lace up those running shoes and your war boots, because you have to be ready. Because sometimes you can do really, really, really good some months, and then you have those months where you're like, what the freak happened? So that was definitely me when the pandemic first started. I was stressed. I'm like, wow, my business is closed, zero income. I'm thinking about my landlord at the shop was still saying, hey, you got rent that's due. Right. My apartment complex was still saying, hey, your rent is due. I was just sitting on my couch, literally like staring at the TV, like, what the freak is going on?
Right.
So, like, the big stress of business is definitely keeping funds rolling in so that you can cover your lifestyle, you know, and your lifestyle don't have to be huge. Sometimes we're all minimalists, but it still has to be covered. So if zero income is coming in, that is a big stress.
Right. And realistically, what you're describing is the balancing act.
Mm-hmm.
There will be big months and there will be small months. Heck, there'll be big years, small years. And the fact that you have stuck through it, your perseverance, your endurance, that is a testament to the fact you're doing a lot of things right. So, given that the pandemic has forced more people than ever to face unprecedented levels of anxiety, how do you cope? How did you get through that unexpected shock of the pandemic showing up and affecting your livelihood?
I really had to turn the TV off. That's first. Stop watching the news because it was causing a lot of anxiety. And what I had to do is really let go and let God. I told God, hey, you're in full control. I'm in the back seat. You're the driver. I don't even want to be the passenger because I don't want to say, hey, we're going. I don't want to say nothing. Backseat passengers have to be quiet and just ride. So I told God, hey, I'm riding. Whichever way we go, we rolling. I know you won't take me nowhere that I'm not fond of, I'm not familiar of, and that I can't get out of. So I had to solely trust in Him to take full control of what was going on.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to share this video and like, comment, and subscribe. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at NewYouWell. Until next time, stand tall in your power and remember, your belief in yourself is your superpower.